Hello, Ayubovan, Vanakkam. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm at the moment at the ESOFT Metro Campus, Colombo, with a very good friend of mine, Dr. Dayan Rajapakse, and he invited me over for a cup of yummy tea. Along with that, I thought, okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to ask him a few questions. I'm going to bombard him with questions. If you ask me why I'm doing this, mehimai. I'm going to speak a little bit in English, a little bit in Sinhala and Tamil if possible. If you're going to allow me to if you're going to give me this opportunity, doctor, is it okay?
Yeah.
Now the reason why I came here, you invited me for tea, and then I said okay, but I have something in return that I ask of you, Kiela. And I have been around Sri Lanka, different parts of Sri Lanka, and then I meet a lot of youth, the kids. I meet little kids, I meet kids from grade 10, grade 12, and then the ones who are in universities and the ones who are working. I meet, along with these children, I meet a lot of parents,
yes, yeah.
right? And then when I sit down to talk with them, usually all the parents have the same set of questions that go on. It's on a repeat mode. They all have the same issues or the same concerns for their children, right? So what I did, what I asked them to do was mail me your questions, and when I do go and meet my friend, good friend, he's definitely going to answer these questions, because Mama technically qualified to answer those questions. And what better person than you, because you already have over 40 centers all over Sri Lanka. You have your campuses all over Sri Lanka. So what I did was I asked all the parents to send me emails, and these were the questions, doctor, that they had sent me. Well, these were the concerns they had initially, right? So most of them were like, what kind of a rewarding career should my child have? That's one of the main questions. Even my mother and father had that for me. Yeah. I'm sure your mother and father would have had that for you, right? Yeah. Then if this is the career, then what field should they be choosing? Then if my child needs to choose this field, then which university or which place should they be studying in? Or should they be studying in Sri Lanka, or should they be sent abroad? They had a whole lot of questions. So doctor, thank you for this beautiful yummy cup of tea. Along with that, if you could just tell me, now these are the questions that have directly come from the parents, right? So mulimma ahapu question ekak, what should a parent or a child expect from higher education?
Yeah, actually it is every parent wants their child to be in a better position, better career, right, and good rewarding opportunities. That's what they want.
Yes.
And they probably, sometimes some parents want their children, obviously, want to be in a better position than what they were.
Absolutely.
So therefore, people believe, in Asian culture, it's a strong belief that education makes a big difference.
Yes.
For your socioeconomic status. So that is why people have belief in education. Okay. So ultimately what they're expecting is their children to get a good job, be able to maybe start up their own enterprise, and grow into better positions than what they were.
Yes.
So ultimately that is what their dream is.
Yes.
So what we want here is actually to create a better future for these children, stable future. And also not just a growth and then come down, right? You should be able to sustain it. That is what I think parent or child expect from a good education.
So doctor, thank you for actually mentioning a good higher education instead of just saying higher education, right? So I missed that part in the question. So that's the thing, when you talk to an expert, he comes up with a better option or that's why we come to you, because you're an expert, right? Okay, so now the second question, doctor. What are the key factors that any parent should consider when choosing the right field for their child or children?
Well, let me start like this. The right field for the parent may not be the right field for the child. Right. That is one thing that I want to say. Because these trends are changing. Right. Jobs which have been very good 2-3 decades ago may not be the most rewarding careers now. Yes. I would look at like this, for example, the opportunity for a person to grow in a field depends on demand and supply. Right. If there are more qualified people in that area, that field, and if there are not that much new jobs coming into the market, then obviously the children will have to struggle to find a good job. Yes. So therefore, parents must consider, you ask what are the factors. So one thing is, you must understand what your child's strengths are.
Right.
Not every child can be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. They have their own, strengths and individual strong areas.
Capacity.
So I think the parents or maybe the child themselves have realized this by now.
Yes.
So that is one thing that they should consider. Okay. Are they good at this kind of a field?
Right.
What do you think that they will be good at?
Right.
That is the number one.
Okay.
The number two is, just because you are good in something, you should enjoy what you should be doing, right? You should choose a field what you are passionate about. You should enjoy your work because, for example, if I choose my profession, it is something that you're going to do for about another, 2-3 decades or more than that sometimes. Yeah, you're going to live with it. So can you live with this? That is the other question. So parents must choose something where their children are, passionate about. They love it, and then they will go to the. I think a child who loves that field will go to the highest level in that one because they want to chase that dream. The third thing is the other thing that I told you, the demand that exists for these kind of jobs right now.
Right.
So don't send your child to a field where, less demanding field, they will struggle just because they like it. So it's all these three things have to, align.
Right.
Their strengths, their liking towards that profession, and the demand that is there. The demand changes, as I told you.
Right.
For example, the demand what is now may not be the demand another 10 years later. Right?
Like, say, for example, what's in demand at the moment, according to you?
I think, a lot of engineering, technical jobs like IT. These kind of things are growing a lot.
Yes.
And also other areas like, niche areas like biomedical engineering, even nursing.
Yes.
These kind of fields are growing.
Right.
Because when job opportunities open, today we live in a global world.
Yes.
Even in a job opportunity comes in a Western country, the opportunities are created for children here as well.
Yes.
Because they qualify, they migrate, they go and settle down in those countries.
Correct.
So therefore, we have to look at the global context, and not just what is in Sri Lanka, right? And then you will have a better understanding. I think the best thing is you should ask someone who's already, now if I want to become an engineer, you should ask from another engineer, what kind of fields are good these days, right?
Get his input.
Get his input.
Yeah.
You may have family friends.
Right.
You may have your, siblings who are gone in that field. Ask them. But sometimes when you ask a little senior person, he will share his experience which was there in the 1980s or 90s.
Right. Okay.
That what what we want is the current situation. That's why I told you, your elder brother, elder sister, right, your cousin who has done the same thing about 5 years ago, they'll be the best people for you to ask.
And you'll be able to relate to them also.
Yeah, relate to them. Right. They understand the young mind well. Yes. I think they will help you great a lot.
Absolutely. So doctor, okay, now that you were mentioning about a parent choosing the right field for the child has to depend, or it should be based on certain criteria.
Yeah.
Now I know for a fact that you studied to be a doctor, and you practiced even to be a doctor. Or not be a doctor, you were a doctor.
A doctor, yeah.
You are a doctor, but I see you as the managing director of the ESOF Metro campus, and you have 40 of them all over Sri Lanka. So now how did that happen? Because if I were to judge, go by looking at what you have done in your life, was it your parents who decided that you should become a doctor? Was it you? So I think your experience would help us understand it better.
As you correctly said, it was something to do with the parents because my father was a doctor too.
Right.
Right. And he was not forcing me to become a doctor, but he liked. I was the eldest. Asava. I was the eldest in the family. Yeah, so he thought, it was his. He would really love that to see your son or daughter, getting through the same field.
Yes.
That was the reason. And also those days, I would say, other avenues when we were doing when we were going to universities, the other avenues have not opened up as much as this today.
Okay.
Today for a child there are a lot of opportunities in different streams. Okay. But nowadays, as you said, doctor, engineer, lawyer, manager, kind of things were the highlighted professions. So therefore, always with the traditional thinking, I had to take that route.
So you went down that route. So how come?
So I came here because I had a dream. I was chasing my dream. Yeah, so I in my childhood, I was very fond of equipments, computers, and electronics, and so on.
Right.
So and I had a passion towards it.
Yes.
That is how I started loving IT or computers.
Okay.
And that is how slowly I switched into this field.
Okay.
And then I saw an opportunity for me to start up my own company at some stage.
Yeah.
And I became an entrepreneur. So the script is not actually it's not written. I would go there, I would become this and so on. But it, based on the opportunity that I got, I switched to this one.
Right.
I mean, it was just a, I would say
opportunity.
I took the opportunity. Then it was a gradual transition from that to this one. Not just that I stopped practicing medicine overnight and then became an entrepreneur and a managing director. Right? Nobody came and kept me on this seat.
Okay.
Right? I had a time where I was practicing as a doctor while running this company on weekends.
Oh gosh.
Right? So almost 5 years I did the same thing.
Right.
Right? Then when I saw that this is doing well and I did not enjoy practicing medicine that much.
Okay.
I was confined to one government hospital where I saw that I was a little stuck there.
Right.
So then I switched to this thing completely.
So doctor, what's beautiful about this whole thing is, now you're the leader. We could easily tag you as the leader here. And so we have a leader who's actually walking the talk. You're not just telling people follow your dreams, because you yourself have followed your dreams and you're successful. And through your success, you're actually, lifting other people up to a place of, relevance, to a place of good standing, to a place of, leadership. So you're actually making leaders happen here. So yes, doctor. So thank you for that. Now, another very, very, very important question. All our parents want us to go and study abroad. Okay, for whatever reason, different reasons. Some, you would know better why they would want to send their children abroad. So, what are your thoughts on that? It's almost like a trend these days. It used to be a trend then, and I believe it still is a trend. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It might be just blindly following your neighbor or somebody, right?
Okay.
They have sent. We also want to send our child. But there might be genuine reasons, like for example, they want their children to have some international exposure, polish up their communication skills and, get them exposed to different culture.
Right.
That kind of benefits might be there, sending a child overseas and, getting them educated there.
Yes.
But there are few, if you blindly do this without really, knowing what your expectation, what your goals are, if you do that, you will have a little bit of trouble.
Right.
Because one thing is that this getting education overseas would be costly. Where we earn in rupees and you have to pay in dollars or sterling pounds and so on.
Yes.
For example, now let's say a degree which costs you 1 million rupees here, same degree if you go and do it in UK, it might cost you about 9 million, 10 million only for the tuition fee without the cost of lodging and accommodation.
Right. Okay.
So one thing is you should always check whether you could afford that or not. Right, one thing, because parent might struggle halfway through having sent them there, right? You don't have because this is not just for 1 year, right? Degree would be minimum 3 years. Minimum 3 years. It might be more than that.
Right.
So let's say if your financial status changes after 2 years, so you'll probably will have to call back the child, without achieving anything. Right. No end result because you couldn't afford. The child has to come back.
And you'd have sold most of what you have.
Yeah, so that's one problem. So one thing is whether can you afford it or not is one important factor.
Right.
Second thing is why you are sending, what are your goals? If you have any plans of, settling your children overseas or something like that, I would say, okay, you might do that.
Sense.
But if you have some family business here, you want the children to, take up into the next generation. I think, sending overseas might deviate from your goal. Yeah. Other thing is that the other problems that they may face there. For example, if you have your relative or friends or there to take care of the child, it is okay. Otherwise, sometimes just sending a very young child to a different country and exposing them into a different culture might create other kind of social problems. Right. So the child might be at risk of various other, problems that we see today, right? It can be, drug abuse and things like that.
Okay, bad
Not every child might not get there, but those are risks. Yeah, so my opinion is, today Sri Lanka has almost all options available when it comes to higher education. What you can do in UK, Australia is still available here. Maybe very niche areas like, some very specialized area. Let's say I want to specialize in nanotechnology or something like that, you might not have a degree here, right? Unless you are very specific about such a field. General common fields are available here. My advice is basically for the parents, keep them here. As close as to yourself as much as possible. Get them to mature a little bit, right? And get their degree here. And if you want to polish them up, send them for postgraduate studies.
Yes, that sounds nice. So you have a balance
and also
of both.
Postgraduate studies will not be a too long period like the undergraduate studies. Usually it is 1.5 years to 2 years. So that means your money, what you are spending overseas also will be less. The other problem is the problem that the country faces because of this.
What's the problem?
Because when a lot of children go overseas for studies, right? I'm not telling because of that we should deprive a child's education. But we know we are struggling with foreign exchange, right? So when you have the choice here, why you want to send your child for the same thing? We must think about our country also. Now today US dollar is 162.
My gosh.
Right? So when these kind of more and more people send their children overseas, we will require more foreign exchange as well.
Okay. So doctor, so the fact that you said the graduation and undergraduation in Sri Lanka, and then maybe if need be to polish them abroad for post-graduation. It's I like the ratio, the way you put it. If you were to make it into a mathematical ratio, it would look nice, is what I'm trying to say.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, right? So okay. So doctor, on the same note, there's another big burning question. Everybody knows that there's a huge big boom in the IT industry. It's been there for quite some time now. So what opportunities will our children here in Sri Lanka have if they choose this field, the IT field?
I told you a little bit about the demand, right? So when you're choosing the field, you should take something in high demand.
Right.
So obviously in IT these days, if they choose, they have that demand advantage.
Right.
Today, actually, if you take the Sri Lankan context, I think we have more demand than the supply.
More demand than the supply?
More demand than the supply. That means our universities here, about IT graduates, all private sector and the public universities, what they produce would be around 6,000 to 8,000 students, graduates, IT graduates per annum, right?
Okay.
But the current requirement is about 15,000 we need. Because we have a target about, going into $5 billion export revenue from this industry by 2022. That's the national target.
Okay.
So to go there, we need about 200,000, 250,000 IT professionals to work.
Okay.
But whereas currently we have only about 80 to 90,000. So for this number to jump to that level, producing 6,000, 8,000 per annum won't do. So that's why actually today, if somebody does IT more than other fields, they can go to a job interview and ask for a bigger salary as your starting salary rather than another one. Right? Why? Because not many people will come for the interview. So companies are competing to choose the good one.
To recruit.
So therefore, I would say these days, and also probably will be for another 2-3 years, probably maybe 1 or 2 decades, it will be the same. Your growth will be very fast.
Yes.
In some field, when you get into some field, probably you will be in the same position for 3-4 years. The career growth is very slow. But IT is very, very fast. If you're highly talented and if your competencies are good, sky is the limit.
Right.
I would say, for example, I would work for 5 years in a company, then I will start up my own software company.
Right.
And if I have a breakthrough product, you can become a millionaire. Right?
Early retirement.
Early retirement is possible, right?
Right, okay. So, doctor, you were talking about a dearth and a vacuum, and that converts into an opportunity for children who want to choose or to be in the IT field.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Not just just the IT field, any field for that matter. Right now there are so many places. Godak thena tiyanwa that offer higher education now, right? Godak thena,
So
right?
many options.
So many of them, so many options. So what are the deciding factors when it comes to choosing the right place? Now that's the most important. Hari thena kohomada api choose karanne?
හරි තැනක් කියලා කියන්නේ දැන් විශේෂයෙන් උසස් අධ්‍යාපනය බලනකොට අපි බලන්න ඕනේ මේ ආයතනය දෙන qualifications මේක කවුද දෙන්නේ එකට ඒගොල්ලන්ට බලයක් එහෙම නැත්නම් නීතිමය පදනමක් තියනවාද ඒ වගේ උපාධියක් හරි ඒක පිරිනමන්න. ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි දේ. දැන් ලංකාවේ ගත්තොත් එimhe විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ප්‍රතිපාදන කොමිසම කියලා University Grants Commission කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකේ recognized degree එකක්ද එහෙම නැත්නම් recognized qualification එකක්ද කියලා බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ degree එකක් නම් ඒකේ recognized or accredited වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් vocational qualification එකක් නම් ඒක TVEC කියන මේ කියන්නේ tertiary and vocational education commission එකේ recognition එකක් තියෙන එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒක පිළිගත් international body එකකින් වෙන්න ඕනේ. For example, now ESOFT is offering a number of short term diplomas which are awarded by Pearson.
Right.
Which is the largest awarding body in UK. In UK. So that's an international certification that they are getting.
Okay.
So it has to be either nationally recognized or it has to have a recognition which comes to it globally.
Right.
Right? නැතුව කාටවත් බෑ ඔයාට කෝස් එකක් ඩිසයින් කරා කියලා කොලෙජ් කියලා නමක් දාගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ට බෑ සාතිකයක් හදලා දෙන්න ඒක මොන හරි ෆ්‍රේම් එකක අනුමැතියක් ක්‍රමවේදයකට යටත් වෙලා නැත්තම්.
හරි. එතකොට okay. Now මේ ડોක්ටර් මෙහෙම කියනකොට දැන් අපි හිතමු දැන් මම when I was studying or when now my brother's children have to study හරි කියලා කියමුකෝ. දැන් මම දන්නේ නැහැ what is accredited and what's not accredited because අපි දන්නේ නැහනේ. එතකොට කොහොමද ඒක හොයාගන්නේ? කවුද who's giving you the actual information කියලා කොහොමද හොයාගන්නේ?
Yeah, actually if you go to UGC website, there are state universities. Then there are non-state universities.
Right.
Then all foreign universities they prove through there's something called international list of universities and Commonwealth universities. Right. So if your university is in one of those lists, they are reputed universities. They are not fake awarding bodies. Right. So our University Grants Commission also recognizes them.
Right. Okay.
So the list is available actually.
ඒක තමයි. So ඒ list එක තියෙනවා කියලා
අපේ සමහර දැන් අපේ ළඟට ආවොත් අපිට parents ලා පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් අපි ළඟ certificate එකක් තියෙනවා University Grants Commission එකෙන් issue කරපු මේ university එකේ උපාධියට ඒගොල්ලෝ recognition එකක් දීලා තිනවා කියලා අපි ළඟ සාතිකයක් තියෙනවා. ඔබට දැන් අන ආයතනයේ මේ වගේ දෙයක් මේක පිළිගන්නවද ඒකට prove කරන්න මොකක් හරි certificate එකක් තියෙනවද කියලා අහන්න පුළුවන්.
අහන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි අහන්න පුළුවන් එක that is one.
අහලා දැනගන්න ඕනේ.
Doctor තව ලස්සන question එකක් හරිද which is on everybody's mind which is on my mind also මටත් දැනගන්න ඕනේ දැන් මේ ලොකු campuses තියෙනවා ලොකු facilities දෙන campuses තියෙනවානේ කොහොමනොත් so ඒක විතරයිද choice එකක් තියෙන්නේ නැත්නම් what is your view on large campuses with facilities should they be the first choice for a parent or a child?
ඒක දැන් මෙහෙමයි දැන් සමහර ළමයි ඉන්නවා පොඩි උදව්වක් ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ they are very highly intelligent. So whether they are in X campus, Y campus or Z, ඒගොල්ලෝ මොන campus එකේ හිටියත් ඉගෙන ගන්න දක්ෂයි. ඒගොල්ලන්ට එහෙම ලොකු guidance එකක් support එකක් ඕනේ නැහැ. දැන් අපි සමහර parents මම දැකලා තියෙනවා සමහර subject එකට ගෙදරට ගෙනල්ලා single tuition master කෙනෙක්ගෙන් tuition දෙන්න තත්ත්වයට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒ මොකද you need ඔයාට attention ඕනේ extra attention එකක් ඕනේ ළමයට සමහර වෙලාවට අර පන්තියේ 25ක් එහෙම නැත්නම් 50ක් ඉන්න තැනක ලැබෙන attention එකෙන් ඒ ළමයට ඒ subject එක තේරුම් ගන්න බෑ. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා හැම වෙලාවෙම මට කියන්න බෑ ලොකු තැනකින් ලොකු කැම්පස් එකකින් මේ ඔබගේ දරුවාට අවශ්‍යම education එක හම්බ වෙනවා කියලා. විශේෂයෙන් මේ තැන්වල තියෙන weakness එක තමයි ලොකු කැම්පස් එකක් වුණාම batch එකත් ලොකුයි. I think it will be around 200-300 students. Right? 200ක් විතර එක තැනක ඉඳගෙන කැම්පස් එකේ ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට බැරි ළමයා යන්නේ ඉස්සරහට නෙමෙයි බැරි ළමයා යන්නේ පිටිපස්සට. එතකොට එයාට ඇත්තටම මොකුත්ම attention එකක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. lecturer ට පේන්නෙත් නැහැ මේ ළමයාට බෑ කියලා. He will not pick that child. එතකොට වෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේ ළමයා neglect වෙනවා. Eventually that child can be even a dropout. ඒ කියන්නේ යුනිවර්සිටි කෝස් එකට ගිහිල්ලා එයාට ඒක කරගන්න බැරුව මෙන්ටලි වැටිලා ඊට පස්සේ එයා ඒකේ ඩ්‍රොප් අවුට් වෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ දෙයක් වුණොත් ඇත්තටම ලොකුම අපරාධයක්. මොකද ළමයි අපි ඩිමෝටිවේට් කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ මොන දෙයකින්. ඒ කියන්නේ এডুকেෂන් එක ඕනේ. එහෙම කරන්න කියලා এডুকেෂන් එකට පුෂ් කරලා ළමයා ડિප්‍රෙස් වෙනවා නම් that's not the right thing to do. ඒ නිසා මම කියන්නේ නැත්නම් පේරන්ට්ස් හොයලා බලන්න ඕනේ මේ වගේ ක්ලාස් සයිස් එක මොකද්ද? මගේ දරුවාට මේක ගැලපෙනවද? එයාට ඒ වගේ එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එකක ඉඳගෙන වුණත් සර්වයිව් වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? or does he need additional support? ඒ වගේ. ඇත්තටම අපේ වගේ තැන්වල තියෙන benefit එක තමයි අපේ branches තියෙනවා හැමතැනම.
ඒක තමයි doctor. You actually answering my next question. So මම question අහන්නම් doctor ගෙන්. doctor, එතකොට your eSoft Metro campus වල තියෙන uniqueness මොකද්ද?
eSoft Metro campus වෙනස් වෙන හේතු කීපයක්ම තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි දැන් අනිත් කැම්පස් එකක් හොයාගෙන දෙමව්පියන්ට එහෙම නැත්නම් දරුවන්ට එන්න වෙනවා ප්‍රධාන නගරයකට. ඒ කියන්නේ කොළඹට එහෙම නැත්නම් මහනුවරට. අපේ කැම්පස් එකක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ආසන්න ප්‍රධාන නගරය. පුළුවන් ගාල්ලෙත් පුළුවන්, මහතරත් පුළුවන්, කුරුණෑගලත් පුළුවන් ඒ වගේ. ඉතින් එතකොට මේකේ තියෙන වාසිය තමයි දරුවන්ට ඒ කියන්නේ වෙන තැනක බෝඩ් කරන්නේ නැතුව ගෙදර ඉඳලම උසස් අධ්‍යාපනයට යොමු කිරීමේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා. එතකොට මම බලන්නේ දරුවට තියෙන එකක් තමයි ට්‍රාන්ස්පෝර්ට් වලට යන ටයිම් එක සහ ඒවට යන වියදම්. ලොජින් වලට යන වියදම්. ඒව නැහැ. අනිත් එක තමයි දරුවා තමන්ගේ යටතේ තමයි ඉන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ
under their protection and
under their protection the child says. That is also a great benefit. ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි දේ. දෙවෙනි එක තමයි අපි ගත්තාම අපි හැමතැනම ස්ප්‍රෙඩ් වෙලා තියෙන තින්දා අපි ඔක්කොම ළමයි එක තැනකට ගේන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ළඟත් ඉන්නවා ළමයි අපි for a year we take about 30,000 students. About 5,000 undergraduates are studying at eSoft. But අපේ ඔක්කොම ළමයි ඉන්නේ එක classroom එකක නෙමෙයි. මේ course එක මම කුරුණෑගලත් කරනවා කලම්බොත් කරනවා අපේ class size එක is about 30-40.
Okay.
So it's like your school, right? In a school also you'll have about 40 students in a class, maybe 30 some schools. So you get better attention. You can talk to the lecturer. And also our lecturers we have carefully selected our lecturers. I don't call them lecturers. They are good teachers. ඒ කියන්නේ හොඳට උගන්වන්න පුළුවන්. තව කාට හරි දෙයක් අර තේරෙන්න කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ටයිප් එකේ ලෙක්චරර්ස් තමයි අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම තෝරගන්නේ. දැන් මම ඇත්තටම තාම 1992 ඉඳන් අද වෙනකන් තාමත් ලෙක්චර්ස් කරනවා.
Okay.
කියන්නේ මම දැන් එතකොට අවුරුදු 25කට වැඩිය මගේ ලෙක්චරින් කාලය. එතකොට ඒ වගේ අය තමයි අතන මම තෝරගන්නේ මං වගේම තව කෙනෙක් තමයි මං ආස. මොකද ඒ වගේ කාට හරි තේරෙන්නේ නැති දෙයක් ඒ විදිහට කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන් කෙනෙක්. අන්න eSoft එකේ තියෙන වෙනස තමයි ඒක. කොහරි ගිහලා කෝස් එකක් ෆලෝ කරන්න ගිහලා තේරුම් නැත්තම් අමාරුයි කියලා හිතනවනම් eSoft එකට ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න. ඒතර ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වෙනස තේරෙයි. ඒක එච්චරම අමාරු නෑ කියලා.
එලකිරි සුපිරිකිරි. Hari, එතකොට doctor companies nowadays are not just looking at certificates and qualifications. Yes, it's important, but they're looking for something extra. Your soft skills, so to speak, right? Your competencies. Are you a good leader? Are you a good team builder? Are you a good lead? I mean, do you have leadership skills, communication skills? So එතකොට at eSoft, what is it that you are doing to make sure that your children are actually competent in the soft skills area?
Yeah, our class environments are itself create this culture because I told you our classes are small.
Right.
So that communication has to be always two-way. Now you have a lecture hall where a lecturer is on a stage. Students are sitting down, right? And the lecturer doesn't never come to a student or reach a student. Student never gets a chance to talk. So their communication skill will not develop at all, right? But in our case, we have good small classrooms, right, where the interaction is very good. We listen to students, and there is two-way communication. That's one way. I mean, while learning also, they have opportunities. There are group projects. So you talked about team building, working together with another one.
Yes.
And also we have a lot of CSR initiatives. Actually, they do a project where they have to actually do some CSR project. They have to do fundraising, and then they have to go and do something and write a report on what they did.
Okay.
So that's real practical engagement on doing group work.
So you're teaching them how to plan,
How to
implement,
plan, how
and
to
be
implement,
accountable and
execute.
responsible and execute. Oh, lovely.
So that is also there. And also recently we started a Toastmasters club at ESOFT. So which means that we want our children to be good communicators. They will be part of that as well.
Okay.
And also latest development is we have now partnered with a US university, which is called Ubiquity, which is mainly on soft skills. So they're actually having even masters and PhDs in the area of soft skills. They don't do any hard skill training at all, right? So actually, since we found they are actually very strong than us on that area, now we have partnered with that, and we are now trying to integrate. We have actually integrated these things to our curriculum to give this kind of skills. For example, communication skills, leadership, building the leadership in activities, right? Based on activities, building that one, and complex problem solving. There's another difficult thing. For example, so you may have knowledge, but you can't apply your knowledge and solve a problem. So you're not important for a company. So we give that kind of training to children, right?
So empowering them.
Empowering them. I think these are, if I go back to my medical knowledge, these are right brain functions, right? These soft skills. Right brain, right.
Okay.
So whereas your other technical skills, all of those are mathematical. Those things are coming from left brain. Now, so now they say, a person who only focuses on developing left brain will not get these strengths. So if you have these strengths, they will even further let you go deep into your other hard skills as well. In other words, they support each other.
Right.
You have more team building skills and you have more communication skills that will help you in that facilitate your technical knowledge development as well.
Okay. So mata theruna that I'm more right brain than left brain kiyala.
You're more right brain, obviously.
So doctor, then mage prashne. This is my question, okay? So your journey for the past 18 years, varsha 18 ne? So I'd like for you to share your experience of ESOFT with us, because it's your journey and we would all like to know about it.
First of all, I would say I'm really happy and proud about whatever the position that we enjoy today as an organization. More than that, actually, I feel happy about the service that we have rendered. Especially, we have not, focused on one location only in Colombo or Kandy. We have gone to all corners of Sri Lanka. For example, our Jaffna branch started just after war ended, and it was in 2009 we started Jaffna branch.
Okay.
So basically, south, west, east, north, everywhere we are doing our service. And also we have a lot of, it's multicultural, right? We have a lot of Tamils, Muslim students, Sinhalese students studying in these colleges, right? So you will see our students, when you see them coming to our sports day in Colombo from all branches, you have all variety of youth here coming from different socio-economic status and so on. I feel really happy about that one. Proud about that.
Yes.
That's the other thing. And also our journey started very small, right? I started only with about 4 students, with just 2 staff members, right? And we have come all the way up to now. So that's growth also gives you a lot of pleasure.
Yes.
That's another thing. And also our team, working together with different teams, different communities, that is a real enjoyment. So there are a lot of developments. Also now our challenges are probably one thing now. All this time we have been working with British universities. We have worked with London Metropolitan University, then Kingston University, and then as I told you before, one of the largest awarding body like Pearson. Now we want to give, we have a range of short-term courses designed and developed by us, which are quality assured by Pearson. But now our next challenge is to transfer ourselves to a non-state university.
Nice.
right? And we are already in the process. I hope that the green light will come at some stage very soon.
It will.
So that is our next challenge, because we want to really take our service to the next level. We need that. We need to be part of our national regulatory framework and offer, because I think what I would be able to do is bring down my cost further.
Yes.
Because then I'll not be paying royalty fees to foreign universities if I have my own degrees. We have the strength to do that.
Yes.
Then when we do it, it'll be actually benefiting the youth of the country and also the parents, because they are ultimately they are the ones who will be paying for this.
Yes.
So the other mission is to go overseas. We have already gone.
Okay.
Right, we have already started in Bangladesh, but still it's a learning experience. Doing business in another country is not the same. But we are taking up that challenge. I think my team, together with me, they support us. We will somehow or the other succeed in that as well.
So, since now, this is just a fun question that I'm asking you. Tamil theriyuma ungalku? தெரியாது.
No.
இல்லை. கொஞ்சம்.
கொஞ்சம் இல்லை.
So doctor, கொஞ்சம் இல்லை. கொஞ்சம் Tamil தெரியாது. பரவாயில்லை, we will learn Tamil together, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So doctor, your final words to all the students and all the parents of these children who are looking forward to a good higher education, what would you have to say to them?
Right, good question. Let me give an answer very short for that. Especially if you are deciding to go for higher education, what I would say is first think about what your goals are, where you want to be in another 5 years, right? That kind of a goal should exist, and then based on the goal, targeting on that, you should choose the right product. If you are not able to choose the right product, come and ask from someone, an expert. For example, we have student counselors. You can talk to them. They will guide you, right? And also, always don't go and select a product or a university or college just by being preoccupied. Go for alternatives. Go for one place. Go for another place. You can compare ESOF with any other institution. What we offer, what our curriculum is, what our cost is. Through that comparison, you should be able to find out which is better, which is not. Finally, the other thing is, sometimes some people can't make a decision about higher education. Finally, people can't make a decision about higher education until they get their A-level results. For example, from September to January, they will not be doing anything. So I would invite them to come and join ESOP, because we have a nice dual diploma designed for them to polish up their IT skills and English skills. So it's a diploma in IT and diploma in English. I think if they get that skill, that competency will help in any of their career, whether they're going to become an engineer or a doctor or a manager, marketeer, or maybe a film star like you, right? Still, your communications skills, competencies, and a little bit of IT would need, because you may have to check your schedule, shooting dates via email or something like that. So you would need that skill. So I invite all the youth, don't waste your time. Come and join with ESOFT, because it will really add value to your future.
Absolutely. Wow, fabulous. Doctor, thank you very much. Let me shake these very important hands. Well, thank you so much for taking this time to spend with us, with the parents and the children, and then for this beautiful cup of tea. Mehimai. Then one important thing that mama allagatteka, don't waste your time, because after your A-levels are a time period between September to January. So if you do have that, when you have that time, come over to ESOFT. So amazing counselors here, egolonge guidance ekak aragena. You can choose whatever product that you want. At the moment, he's saying they have a dual diploma in both IT and English, which I think is very important. So come over, inviting all of you, because it's going to be an amazing journey here. Because I have been in and around this campus a couple of times. It's full of life, full of energy, and full of love. So thank you, doctor. Just like you, wishing all the children also to be successful. And you're somebody to be looked up to. You're a fabulous leader. And I met him for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I completely fell in love with his demeanor, the kind of person he is, and he truly has a good heart. He doesn't say much, but he does a lot of CSR activities, and he's actually tied up. That's how I know him, because he and me and a few other places are working together. You'll get to know about it very soon, and inviting all the parents and the children to come over to ESOFT and be part of this beautiful journey. Ayubovan Vanakkam.